From the looks of this video, you're probably thinking, what? Anyway, so I went back to play Animal Crossing the other day, the third one. I have all three. Yes, there are three. One for GameCube, just called Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing Wild World for Nintendo DS, and Animal Crossing City Folk for Wii, not including Animal Forest for the Nintendo 64, which was only released in Japan. Yes, I know about that. Anyway, moving on. When I got the second Animal Crossing, I was really surprised at it. When I got the third one, I was kind of losing interest in Animal Crossing at that point. But, yeah. Now I'm going to tell you something about this. My brother first got Animal Crossing when I was 8 years old. I loved it. And Animal Crossing seemed to always have an effect on me. It seems like a lot of things in my mind converted to Animal Crossingism. I don't know how to say it, but I loved how it was set up, and it just seemed so kind of different in a way. It was like, I'm going to go ahead and say that Animal Crossing is one of the greatest games of all time. It definitely is. And anyway, yeah. Well, what I mean is, when I first got Animal Crossing, I'd still go back and play this. I go back and play all three of them, just not as much. I'd play the DS one when I'm out. Now I've had the third one over a year, and I still haven't beaten it. Whereas the first and second one, I have beaten them both. It took me like 3 years on both of them. That's because I play it for a long time, then I don't play it at all. And I just repeat. And the weeds get too overbearing if you don't pick them up. Now, and yes, the first one did have the least amount of features, but that's how always the first one is. But the point is, in 20 years, if I was going to go back and play one of these, I would play the first one. Now, I was planning to ask you what you think my favorite one is later in the video, but obviously you can tell my favorite is the first one. I don't know, I grew up with that one. I feel emotionally attached to it. And the thing about Animal Crossing is, the second one, I don't know, that just seems like the first one was so strict, and the second one was just like so laid back. It basically eliminated the premise of the first one a little bit. That's probably not true, but I don't know what it was. All the new features, the fact that you had to share a house, the taking away the gyroid, you can have different hats, I like that. And by the third one, it almost seemed like the series was just pretty much completely burnt out. And that's kind of sad. Considering this was a game I loved so dearly. It's because the second one added quite a lot from the first one. It had tons of new features, tons of them, and it was a portable Animal Crossing. So it got away with almost being the same game because not only did it have all of that new stuff, it was portable. You had a portable Animal Crossing now, and so yeah, it had an excuse. The third one really didn't have one. The fact that you couldn't play with the GameCube controller was aggravating. The Wii Speak thing was nice, and the city is cool, but those features just aren't big enough to make a difference. The third one is, well, in my opinion, by far the worst in the series. They just keep getting worse. I wish they wouldn't do that, but it seems like the creator is just not willing to keep up. I don't know. I guess there just really wasn't that much more you could add to it. I think the thing about the third one that really messed it up is the main way people usually get money in that game is by fishing. By the third one, all of the rare fish that were worth money, you could barely find them anymore. And that was aggravating. The main way of making money is gone. Yes, I am sick right now while I'm making this video, if you're wondering why I sound different. What I liked about Animal Crossing, though, is that when it got the laid-back humor, and even before that, it had more American-style humor than Japanese, like with how everyone acts so macho, and But at the same time, it was cute. And I think people forget that if something's American, that doesn't mean it's going to be bloody and war. And that if something's Japanese, it doesn't mean it's going to be cute and cuddly or something else. But American stuff can be cute and cuddly, too. Look at the Rugrats. Look at SpongeBob, old SpongeBob. The older episodes. I mean, look at Barney and Teletubbies. American stuff can be just as... actually, American stuff typically, I would say, is cuter than Japanese stuff. Just because, well... Americans don't make sure to not put anything inappropriate in there, which, exceptions, especially nowadays, but, it's okay. Not as bad as what the Japanese put in there. Anyway, the fact is that you have this dog who's like, oh, Gunner, I'm so happy to see, yes, my character's name is Gunner. Oh, Gunner, I'm so happy to see you. It's like, I was going to ask you to come out and play today. I mean, it's like, they act like they're basically adults, but they act like children, and that's just like SpongeBob, and that is just so adorable. Now, if I could ever do if I had a capture card and could do one machinima thingy with any game, it would be Animal Crossing, because Animal Crossing, besides The Sims, next to The Sims, is probably the easiest game to do it. Now, well, Brawl, but simulation games are usually easy. Well, anyway, let me get to my next point. I like how Animal Crossing, the first one, came with a free memory card. That was a nice deal. Back to the third one. Now, I'm not saying the third one was bad, because it really wasn't. I'm a big fan of Animal Crossing, so I like it, but it got boring, because it was the same game. And if I could use the GameCube controller, it would probably feel a little bit more like the original Animal Crossing. And I would probably like it a little bit more. But the DS controls were terrible anyway. The Wii controls are okay. So, even though I have said almost nothing bad about the second and third one, or nothing but bad, they were still great games. And this brings me to my point. Which is your favorite of the Animal Crossing games? Was it this one, the first one, for the Nintendo GameCube, released in 2002? Was it Animal Crossing Wild World for the Nintendo DS, released in 2006? Or was it Animal Crossing City Folk, released in November 2008 for the Wii? Now, I think they're all great, and, go feel free to post a comment saying which one's your favorite. They're all great. I would love to hear why. And that's, yeah. Now also, if you're new to Animal Crossing, I have one thing to say to you. Welcome to the wonderful world of Animal Crossing, where something's always happening, whether you're here or not. Mostly when you're not.